Hi, it's Hazel and welcome to my channel. I am here for day 70 of the 100-day project, and I am tickled to pieces that I'm having to enunciate and raise my voice so that you can hear me over the pouring rain. This has been in the forecast for quite a while. It is sorely needed, both for the out-of-control forest fires in Alberta, as well as for germination of crops and to avoid the stress on the transplanted bedding plants and perennials and trees and all of that jazz. So it is wonderful that it's finally shown up here. I have to say, it's late. It's 10 p.m. and I almost didn't get this video even started because, well, when I'm doing this, it's holiday Monday, so Monday, the May long weekend in Alberta or in Canada, and I have been binge watching the series, or I guess they call it a collaboration, called May You Be Inspired By. So, of course, I wasn't, sitting around eating bonbons as I was watching. I was busy doing things. And I realized that some of the ideas that I had for videos, I pretty well got those things done all by myself without showing you anything. So I figured I'd better stop midstream where I am on this particular project and include you in it. So this is a tray. What does it say? No, it doesn't matter where. I obviously bought it at a thrift store. Now, in itself, it would have been quite nice. It kind of has a dry brush look to it and some, gold around the inner edge and the lip. But it had two images that clearly I didn't like because at some point I must have ripped them off. So then I thought, well, okay, if I want to decoupage some papers over this, that is going to be a pretty clear demarcation. So between using a sandpaper block and my favorite little spatula, I tried to get rid of any sharp edge that might show through. Of course, or that could even be that's probably glue, matte medium. So what I'm using is matte medium. This is a gigantic bottle. It's 32 ounces. It, not cheap, but it is a really good product. Now, I should try to clean this off. I was trying to decide whether I should use my bristle brush or a foam brush or this silicone spreader. Now you can see, maybe it's too late. Maybe I've already removed them. I'm using ads from, I'll show you in just a second, ads from a 1947 magazine. So it's black and white, and as I was working it over, some of the ink is maybe lifting a bit, so it's looking a little faded in some areas. So I think that is my cue, my clue. Try to minimize the amount of rubbing that I'm doing. I'm also going to trust that some of these marks that I can see, these strokes or these raised areas, will perhaps flatten out as they dry. So basically, okay, this is the magazine. This is the issue that I bought a few of these, and I paid, a little bit of money for them, but I like them because they've got all these old pictures, and, things that could be fussy cut for sure. These, it looks like a directory of some sort. Yeah, Collector's Guide to Dealers is nice, nice font. and a lot of ads. So basically, I just randomly pulled out a few pages and, you know, tore them around the edges. And this initial piece was, you know, kind of a full height ad. And I thought, well, it doesn't hurt to set that down as a base. And I think it'll be more interesting also if I use some that aren't all the same size, because the rest of these are all exactly the same. So, you know, that is adding a variety of sizes is going to make the make it look better, in my opinion. So the premise with matte medium is that it acts as an adhesive and kind of almost as a sealant as well. Now, again, I said I chose this to avoid brush marks. Excuse me. But it's probably impossible to avoid. Let me just shake the crumbs. It's probably impossible to avoid them altogether. And this, of course, is a little more challenging in that there is this, you know, this lip, this rim that needs to be accommodated. So I'm just going to plunge right in and start gluing some stuff down. Now, okay, I think you can see there. So again, now this paper is not the thinnest in the world. Now, obviously this would be a lot easier to do with napkins or tissue paper. But I kind of wanted, I wanted this look. So I think rather than try to do this corner and end up with the surplus and whatever, I'm thinking I should probably just tear this and piece it around, piece it in. So maybe I will put this here like so, and then there will be some overlapping happening there. So basically, rather than waste some by putting it on, you know, a different palette, or see, that's probably way too much. Rather than putting it on a different surface and wasting it, I'm just putting it straight on the surface. So basically, the idea is to coat it thoroughly. And of course, the smaller the pieces, the less the likelihood of air bubbles. And again, because you see how it's getting gray? Some of the ink is lifting. So let me follow my own advice and stop doing that. So I'm going to just kind of mix it up a bit here with images. I'm not going to be concerned about whether things are upside down or right side up. And I think part of, I just wrote a comment to the on the last video that I watched. So again, I was, like I said, basically binge watching the series. And when you see them all kind of one after the other, you realize that everyone is essentially saying the same thing, just in a different way. So the last person I saw, and I didn't know she existed, and I didn't know of her channel. I think it was called the Purring Cat Studio or something like that. So she's a fellow Canadian. Actually, she said she's a French Canadian now living in Halifax. So anyway, and no other videos have been posted yet. So basically, what she and so many others, that's where I was going with this. When you see something when you watch them just kind of one after the other, you realize that you're more aware of, oh, I just heard that. And I'm not saying that in a critical way at all. I'm just saying that you have to start beginning to believe that these are universal truths because everyone is saying the same thing, just in their own way. So basically, what people have been saying is don't buy everything. Even though you may see one of your favorite creators using a particular thing or having a particular thing, it doesn't mean that you need it. And really people were able to boil down. And you know, it's kind of, yeah, that's easy to see in hindsight and easy to realize when you're drowning in, you know, when your space is closing in around you and you're drowning in supplies. Not as easy to see when you're living it. Otherwise, people wouldn't let it happen over and over again. So, so one of the things, another thing that this Chantel said, and I'm sure others did it as well, is like, don't hoard your stuff. Maybe that's too close to the other one. Don't hoard your stuff. You know that it takes a long time to use things up. So if you are saving them for who knows what, it doesn't really make any logical sense. So I thought to myself, okay, I probably, when it came down to just to make this real, make this relevant, I probably encountered, well, I bought all the copies that I encountered, and I can't remember now if it was maybe 5 of them. And, you know, it wasn't like they were 50 cents or $1 each. I paid more than that. With the intention that, whoops, that I would do something wonderful with it. But, you know, maybe a year has gone by and I didn't touch a darn thing. So, like, what did I prove? What sense did that make? So that's why I thought, rip the Band-Aid off and just use it. Maybe be a little less of this on, and oh, if I, whoops, can you still see? If I put this on the spatula instead, or on this, whatever this thing is called, looks like I have to do this way. When the paper gets saturated, it does obviously work a little better. Although I suppose I could have maybe cut a little slit in it as well. And if okay, I don't know if you could, here's a crease, and there's a good chance that will be there when it dries. It almost seems like maybe fingers work better. So, you know, I'm not going to worry about this because if I end up with these creases and these ridges here, that is going to be an excellent place to ink, to emphasize rather than hoping nobody notices. And it's funny, you know, when I had it turned around, I didn't see that there was an air bubble there, but turn it this way, the light hits it in a different way. And suddenly you become aware of a little problemo. So I'm just going to keep on with this. trying to, you know, mix images and direction and the amount of, well, not color, but, you know, like this versus that one that had mostly white space on it. Maybe I should use a bigger one first, cover a little more ground here. I could have used Mod Podge, but I don't like it. I really find the smell offensive. And if you've, you know, heard me speak before, you know that I also don't like that it doesn't seem like it ever really dries. I should move this up so that you can see this in all its glory. It's almost not big enough. I'd better put this over here. And if I have to... Yeah, that wasn't very good planning. Okay, kids, don't do that at home. Air bubble. I suppose, mind you, if everywhere else I ran it right to the edge of the tray, I guess I can't very well leave this edge here the way I have it. Why is there... I feel like poking a hole in it to let the air out, but that wouldn't be very good. Okay, you see how that Protect is starting to smear? I'd better leave it alone. Okay, so I think I have this in mind also, so maybe this one I should put this way. Make sure I actually have enough. Another thing that Golden makes, well, and maybe other manufacturers do as well, oh, now that I've started the sentence, I've forgotten the name. Maybe it'll come to me. Basically, I wanted to say that there are other, that there's a similar type product that a person would use. Like if this was, say I was working on a mixed media canvas and doing a collage or assemblage or something like that, where there were some heavy, like, and I mean heavy as in weight, objects that needed, or maybe something kind of made of something a little bit weird, where you need to pull out the big guns for making it stick. So there's that other mystery product that shall remain unnamed because I've forgotten the name, but it comes in heavy bodied and then extra heavy, and it really, I mean, it will hold practically anything. down in a piece of artwork. So, but I mean, obviously in a case like this where it's just paper, matte, this matte medium is plenty strong enough. So why? Okay, see again, I turn it and I see things I didn't see when I was looking at it from there. So I've got something happening here. So I just ripped that so that I could get underneath there because, of course, now that I've patched it, it is down. Okay. What else? I don't want to take all night doing this, and I don't want to keep you here longer than necessary, although I do love to have you here. You know, that I was thinking about that today, that as much as I dreaded or feared, whatever the word is, doing YouTube videos, I have to say I've really come to enjoy doing them. Yes, there's a lot of prep. Yes, you know, you keep hoping that you're creating content that people like, and that you're not losing your mind in mid-sentence and forgetting the name of the golden product that you've used in the past. You hope that you're not offending people. You hope you're inspiring and entertaining people. And you say an extra little prayer for some more subscribers. And basically, I mean, obviously, I have no no intention at this point in learning how to edit videos because, hey, I'm too old, and I don't mean that in the sense that too old to learn. Just in the sense that there are so many other things I'd much rather do. And when you have, and we, whether, I'll burst your bubble here and I'll remind everyone in TV land that we all have a finite amount of time left to us. Now, of course, the older you get, the less, I mean, unless there's some really catastrophic thing that happens, the older you get, the less of that time you have. So I would much rather be creating than editing, is what it boils down to. So, yeah, a wipe would be a good thing to have right about now. Anyway, so yeah, that was just me maybe getting a wee bit sentimental, thinking about you guys, appreciating your presence, appreciating the fact that you're subscribing, the fact that many of you are taking time and effort to write a comment. It means something. Like, I don't want to make more of this than there is, but I will say that I remember being described by somebody who was as an elected politician at the provincial level here in Alberta. So, I mean, she'd been around, she'd seen things, she knew people, and she basically said, that I'm the least pretentious person she's ever known. And I took that as a badge of honor, because I thought to myself, I take that to mean that I'm authentic. Like, what you see is what you get. I say what I mean what I say. Don't play games, don't blow smoke, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, if I say that I'm touched, it's because I'm a salt of the earth, common sense, level-headed woman who's been around, who's, you know, lived kind of an interesting life, I would say. And because I mean it. It's not a strategy, it's not a technique, it's because, oops, I see something here again. Oh, that's where I ripped it. It's because it's true. Not sure I want this. Everything else is pretty well straight, so. Maybe I'll kind of put this in the corner here, and then that edge will get covered by something else. So I'm getting a little more judicious in how much of this is coming out of there. Whoa. Okay. Spoke too soon. Heck. Now I'd better be ready with a second piece very soon. Now this would have been infinitely more easy if I would have picked a flatter tray. But this was the ugly one that needed some attention. And I mean, I could have just, you know, used it the way it was or donated it or whatever, but. And I almost went to my, where I keep the rolls of wallpaper and gift wrap that's on rolls and, you know, stuff like that. Because I might have been able, in fact, I know I would have been able to find something really cool there that would have, worked quite nicely because it's really thin stuff. It might have, well, now I'm just guessing, but maybe that wasn't a good idea because it would have backfired because everything underneath would have shown through because it was so thin. So I was thinking as I was listening to all these people talking about what brought them to junk journaling and you know, their background and what they are getting out of it and what they wish they would have known when they first started. And where was I going with this thought? Oh my God. Why doesn't someone send me to bed? Who makes a video at this time of night? Okay, maybe it'll come to me before this video is over. Let's quickly get this one down. I don't need that much. Or maybe I should go like so. Go like so, so I have that gray line. Yeah, totally left my mind what I was going to say. Oh well. Maybe it wasn't that brilliant. I guess I could have, yeah, instead of tearing some off, why not just carry it over a little further? Oh, I know what it was. I was thinking, as I was listening to all these gals, that isn't it kind of amazing that I am not paralyzed by all the choice? Like, when you think about it, there are so many possibilities. There are so many styles, themes, supplies, tools that, okay, so just to use this tray as an example. So I was just saying that for a moment, I considered using something on a roll, but I didn't. Then I thought, well, I could use, maybe I should make it really bright and cheery, but I didn't. Then I went to where I have my vintage magazines, and I dug through the box a little bit, and there was a 1947 Life, and there was a 1963 Stitchery thing or something, and maybe a Good Housekeeping. And I didn't pick, for whatever reason, I didn't pick any of those. I picked this one. So what makes us do what we do? That's kind of what inquiring minds want to know. Why am I doing this as opposed to the 3 million other things I could have done? And is that part of the evolution to one's own style? Because, I don't remember now who said it, and I think more than one person said it. They admire certain styles, and I think maybe they used the example of, lacy, really kind of frilly-dilly. But yet when it comes to what they do something totally different. They admire and have in their journal collection. Now, mind you, if it was gifted, then you don't have much say over what you get as a gift. But for those of us that have bought journals from other people, we bought them kind of knowing what we were getting. So people can admire something. People can maybe force themselves to try to make one. Like, I've never made a traveler's journal. I've never made a lap book. I've barely made, I've made a few folios. I like the really kind of frilly-dilly ones to see, but yet when it comes down to it, that's not what I choose to do. So, yeah. So that really rang true for me when I heard it. And I think, maybe by me using this example of this tray, maybe you can see how every time you make a decision in your craft room for what you're going to reach for, you're reaching for stamps or stencils or stickers, napkins, digitals, scrapbooking paper, junk mail. Every single one of those is a choice that affects the outcome. I don't know how I'm going to handle the edge here. It might be a case of when this is bone dry that it gets, maybe I will do the old sandpaper trick. Okay, not too many more pieces left. I should speed this up. I think this, okay, what is this? Porcelain repairs. Oh yeah, that guy lost his head. I would say he needs restoration. Is that gonna be too, I think I better tear this in half because that will be too intense. So it sounds like the rain is, well, at least it's not pouring anymore. Hopefully it's still raining. I did some planting today. I planted a Therese Bonnet hardy rose. It's like a shrub rose, and I've had them in the past, very fragrant. And if you deadhead as the blooms are finishing, then it just keeps blooming all season. It can grow to 5 or 6 feet tall, and I used to have it right by the back door. So, I mean, the scent just knocked you over as you went by. There was no escape, like it was lovely. The flowers are pink. So, and they're pretty tough. Like, I mean, a lot of the varieties. There was, I think, another series, really hardy ones called the Canadian Explorers, and they were sort of named after, you know, Champlain. And so, I forgot, I was absent that day when the other explorers were being taught. Anyway, they are supposed to be hardy to minus 40. So, of course, that's kind of what we, where did I put that other piece? That is kind of what we need here, because you know, otherwise winter kill. So this is now my third one, and they're all in a south-facing bed, because once they get established, they're pretty maintenance-free. So I'm thinking, even if it's hot and they don't get watered that regularly, once they're established, you know, it'll still be fine. You know, it's not one of those things you have to baby. I also planted, and I don't know if this is the proper way to say it, but I say Jackmani, because it's got a double I, clematis. So I did that, and I put out some more annuals in one bed. Now I still have some stalks, and those are also lovely scented things. I've tried them in the past, and maybe this will be the last year that they get a chance. See, none of these have very great images anymore, so maybe that'll be needed over there. Anyway, they're lovely and scented, and you know, you kind of want that whiff as you walk either in or out of your house or down the sidewalk or whatever. But they're not that hardy. I mean, they're not, well, they're annuals, so can't expect them to be hardy, but they're a little finicky. Like, I don't know. I haven't had that great luck with them, but, you know, whoa, I just sprayed myself. Like a sucker, I just keep buying them. I also, this year, instead of seeding nasturtiums and having a crop failure again, I started plants. So if they don't grow this year, then that's it. Kaput for them. Never. Like, I mean, 3 strikes and you're out, baby. This stuff, when it gets on your fingers, Like, it really sticks. So it's a bit of a trick getting it off. I mean, you have to rub and rub and rub. If you have one of those, what are they called? Well, they're not, I guess that like a little kitchen scouring thing maybe would work. Or maybe a loofah or something like that, where you can actually sort of break through the sort of coating that it does. Okay, let me hurry up and let you go. Go, go, go. That is a bit big for there, but you know, it's like, oh, what would be a good analogy? Oh, like if you were putting trim around the corner of a cushion or something. You gotta ease it in there. You've got to have a little extra so that it goes around the corner smoothly. I hope that wherever you are, that you're well, that you're crafting. Another one of those women that I didn't know. What was her name? Or her channel's name? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, in her title, she was talking about disability. So she must have a child that has a disability of some sort. So she's a stay-at-home mother who's trying to fit this journaling, junk journal stuff in around, you know, caring for a disabled kid. And I don't think, if she mentioned the child's age, I don't know if it's somebody really young or if it's, I almost thought at one point she said high school, but who knows? I mean, and it's kind of irrelevant. I guess the point is that she shot her video in her car. It was kind of funny because she was trying to prove that you can craft anywhere, and some of those ideas were really good. She had some basic supplies in a nice square basket with a handle, and she pointed out arthritis and how it was easier in her case to be able to have this thing, you know, slung over her forearm instead of, you know, using her hands to try to carry it. So I'm thinking that's good. You know, anybody who's really young as they're in this junk journaling foray is not, I'm sure, not even thinking about what they might be doing to their bodies, to their hands and bodies. And we all know that we have neck pain because we're always looking down at what we're doing. So between, you know, the fussy cutting, this wrist action, let's see, I got a little gap there, but maybe it won't matter. I don't know if I can relocate this. I have creases there again, but I like those. Oh, one more corner and then we're going to call it a day. Anyway, so she was taping her segment in her car, showing that, you know, sometimes you do what you need to do to get the privacy and the space to kind of make it happen. That's not big enough. So, I thought that was kind of interesting. Oh, anyway, I started to say that she had these supplies, and then she wanted to prove that she could craft in her car. Now, of course, it was, you know, doubly challenging because she was facing the camera herself, plus she was trying to show whatever it was she was doing to the camera. and that's not a natural position in which to work. So she had one of those cutting mats. I have a couple of those myself. So she basically had this thing resting on her bosom, facing the camera. So she's trying to look at the camera and look at the thing she's working on. And oh my God, some people, you know, like the things we do to be able to nurture our need to create. Now, of course, if she weren't taping and if we weren't watching that, she'd, you know, be working in a normal position and wouldn't need her boobs to hold up the cutting mat. Ay. Anyway, I don't know. Can you say boobs on YouTube? Or only if you're overtired and it's past your bedtime? Okay, again, I'm not worrying about the creases. It doesn't seem to be sticking here. Okay. I wonder, I should probably, see, just when I promise that you're free to go, and I don't have a long enough piece. Yeah, I'm thinking I'd better put in a patch there because, you know, really, when I decide tomorrow or whenever that this is looking kind of dumb here, I'll be wondering why I didn't do it when I was well aware of it. And when it could dry at the same pace as everything else. That doesn't seem like enough. Oh, that seems like too much. You knew it was going to happen. Admit it. Okay, I quit. Oh. Use two hands. I'm going to, see, I tore that because I was trying to be smart. I'm going to put in a patch over here too. That looks kind of stupid probably, but we'll worry about that when it's dry. Oh, I'm not done. I have one over here. Oy. Would have been easy to miss that. Whoops. Somebody send me to bed. Okay, so what did I say this was? Day 70? I think it was on the day 4 video where I said, only 96 more to go. And through sheer determination and discipline like no other, slowly but surely we're getting there. Why does this seem so lumpy? Okay, now I quit. Somebody take this thing out of my hand. Air bubble. I wonder if I poked it with a needle. Sorry, I hit the arm. should probably be doing it over there instead of in the black part where that hole might be obvious. Okay, I have to quit. I can't possibly do every little bubble that might be there. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me. And, yeah, I'll let you know how this turns out. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.